jailbreak video. So we now have the Blu-ray version of the jailbreak for the PS5 that has now been released from a new developer to the scene, I believe, which is Jimmy_Cyber. So I'll leave links down in the video description. So this, of course, is the Proops kernel exploits that can now be loaded using a Blu-ray disc up to the latest firmware's 12.00. However, of course, the Blu-ray jailbreak was actually patched on firmware 8.0. So firmwares above 7.61, 8.0 up to 12.0, they won't need to use another jailbreak to unpatch the Blu-ray jailbreak so that you can then use a Blu-ray disc to jailbreak your PS5 the next time you want to load the jailbreak. And we can do that using the BDJ Unpatch payload from the BD on Jailbreak project, which I'll also leave linked down in the video description. So let's leave video project by the main developer. However, there is already an autoloader available from PS5 12.00, so you can download that version instead, which will automatically load the kernel exploits when you load the Blu-ray disc so that you don't have to send the payload separately. So it makes that a little bit more convenient. So you can go ahead and download that version, but I'll leave both of them down in the video description. So we need to grab ourselves a blank or rewritable Blu-ray disc and insert it into our Blu-ray burner, and then simply open up software like Image Burn, which we'll leave in the description. Select the option to write image file to disk, and then you can drag and drop the BIOSO into Image Burn, or click the little folder icon with a magnifying glass to browse for the file manually. And then once you have that inserted, you can go ahead and click the button to write the image file to the disk, and then wait for that to complete. And once that's done, you can then eject that disk and insert it into the PS5. Now you'll notice that if we try to immediately load this disk without unpatching the Blu-ray exploit first, then what will happen is you'll either just get a black screen, or you'll get this text that pops up saying it failed to escape the sandbox, which means the Blu-ray exploit is not running, it's not available because it's not been unpatched. So we need to use our previous jailbreak, a different jailbreak of some kind, just to load the jailbreak once, so we can then unpatch this Blu-ray jailbreak. Because I'm on a firmware above 7.61, I'm on 12.0, I'll need to use my existing jailbreak to do this. So first of all, we need to make sure we have a network connection on the console. So we have the system software console information. Be sure you have the valid IPv4 address, that your console is connected to your network. If it's not, she can head over to your network settings, head to settings, set up an internet connection. Press the options mentioned in your registered network, to advanced settings, and of course a DNS server set to manual, set the primary DNS to 127.0.0.1 or 127.0.0.2 to lock connections to PlayStation servers so that you don't get a SESTA update when you are connecting to the internet. We're basically just wanting local network access so that we can send the correct payload. So now what we need to do is run our existing jailbreak. So in my case, I'm using Star Wars Racer Revenge with the Lua Core exploit just because I'm on 12.0, because this is the only jailbreak I can use right now that actually works up to 12.0. But obviously, if you're doing this on a firmware like 10.1 or below, you can use the YouTube jailbreak, or you can use the Netflix and hack to jailbreak your console initially so that you can unpatch a Blu-ray jailbreak. So in my case, with this jailbreak, I'm going to go ahead and simply press the start button, head over to the options section here, and then select the Hall of Fame option, and then initiate this jailbreak. So USA version detected, master core initialize, and there it goes, it starts running the kernel exploit. Just once again to the point where it runs the ALF-loader, which is that there, ALF-loader serving on the PS5's IP address on port 9021. So we want there, so now with the ALF-loader running, we can now send additional payloads to the console. So on the computer, it can run netcat GUI or some payload injector. It can use some payloads, and then voice grab the BD Unpatch payload from the BD on jailbreak charter, and drag that into the location, enter the PS5's IP address in the host box and the port number 9021, and click Inject Payload. We'll get a message that pops up here saying BDJ stack has been successfully unpatched. So that is what we want to see there. And once that is done, we should be good to run the Blu-ray jailbreak from now on. So now I will eject the Star Wars disc and insert my Blu-ray disc again, and we will try to jailbreak using this. Now I'm already jailbreaking right now because I used my previous jailbreak initially, so I need to restart my console so I'm no longer running the jailbreak. From now on, I should be able to use this Blu-ray disc to jailbreak my console instead of having to use the Star Wars Racer Revenge game on my 12.0 system. So yeah, let's go ahead and just wait for this to restart. So I've rebooted my PS5. You can see we're not running the debug settings here. And also I am, of course, on 12.0, as you can see, the latest jailbreakable firmware. But I'm not going to jailbreak using Star Wars Racer Revenge now. In this case, we want to load it using our Blu-ray disc, so BD jailbreak poops, or poops kernel exploits. Or, split this up. Hopefully, we've unpatched the BDJ stack. Successfully run the exploit. Go. Hoops PS5 payload started. And there is. Well, that was actually pretty fast. So kernel exploits successfully succeeded. All stages completed successfully. We got the ALF loader running. Now, of course, it will not always work the first time. So if you load it and it gets stuck at a particular point for a long time, then it's probably failed. And you'll just have to restart the PS5 and try again until it works. Or if the PS5 just randomly shuts off, then that also means it's failed, so you have to restart and try again. And it also says they're made by Jamie_Cyver on Twezzer. That says to close the application, so we can go ahead and close the desk player. And disk player keys want to close has to toggle HDCP. So it is going to close the normal applications, but the view is now closed. We're now running the jailbreak. If we go to settings, you can see we have the debug sessions enabled, so the jailbreak is now running. And the ALF loader is running in the back end, which means I can send additional payloads to load on my PS5. So for instance, the switchback over here, I can send other payloads. So I'll drag KStuff in and change the port number to 9021. There we go. KStuff is now loaded successfully, and we should be good here. So let's go ahead and try and run one of my PS4 thick packages. We are doomed. So that's where not normally run, of course, with that KStuff, but TStuff avrom, and we are up and running with the jailbreak, just like that. So I'll send over the PS5 web server to load and see if I can use that to load the PlayStation 5 game backup. Use the Homebrew launcher here and try and load a game backup like Dead Space. And that's going to launch it on the console there. And yep, there we go. The game is loading up as well. So yeah, that is it. We've got our Fierce Warfake packages and our PlayStation 5 game dumps running, and we jailbroke entirely through the Blu-ray desk without using Star Wars Racer Revenge. Obviously, we had to use a previous jailbreak like Star Wars Racer Revenge to unlock the Blu-ray jailbreak in the first place, but this is why we might start seeing like Blu-ray unlocking services where people use their Star Wars Racer Revenge copies to, unlock people's PS5s to use the Blu-ray exploit so that they can jailbreak with a Blu-ray disc. We might start to see that at some point in the future. But, yeah, there we go. We got our PS5 game done for running here as well. Now, a few things to consider here. If you reset your console, factory reset, you can set no Fental. That will patch the BDG stacked again, which will prevent you from using the Blu-ray jailbreak. And the same thing, if you update your firmware to a higher version, that will also patch the Blu-ray jailbreak again, and you'll have to unpatch it using an existing jailbreak on that firmware. So that's the downside to this at the moment, is that you have to at least be able to run some other jailbreak on your console once to be able to unpatch the Blu-ray jailbreak, and then you'll be able to use the Blu-ray to jailbreak in the future. It is faster than jailbreaking with the Star Wars Racer Revenge game, so it's definitely an improvement to use this jailbreak instead, and this will get streamlined even further to include the ability to auto-close the application and automatically load certain payloads with an autoloader, so we can expect to see all of that stuff coming fairly soon. But anyway, I will have a more beginner-friendly guide coming once things have been improved. But that's going to do it for this one, so hope you guys enjoyed this video or found the information useful. If it did, please leave a like and subscribe, and as always, I'll hopefully see you guys